Do you want to know a great investment hack? We'll let you in on a little secret. Follow investment portfolios of great investors. In the United States, the law orders big-time investors to show the stocks they've been buying. This requirement allows average investors like you to utilize the information as a great reference in creating your own portfolio. For this video, Warren Buffett will be our highlight. Hey, welcome to Stock Market Mate. Today we'll talk about the top 9 stocks that Warren Buffett keeps buying. Before we get into it, subscribe to the channel and hit that notification bell to help us beat the YouTube algorithm. If you're done with that, then let's get right into it. Invest in reliable firms and retain their equities for a very long time. That is Warren Buffett's investment philosophy. However, it's simpler said than done. Nobody has been spared in this year's carnage in the stock market. Investors find it difficult to maintain a long-term perspective in this situation. But Warren Buffett, who continues to be a positive buyer in this challenging market, finds it easy. According to data, as of the end of the second quarter, Buffett's hedge purchased assets worth $3.8 billion during that time. Number 9. Ally Financial Incorporated. Ally Financial Incorporated is an American financial services company that is headquartered in Detroit, Michigan. Its products include loans, leases, insurance, mortgages, and investment advisory. Ally Financial Incorporated has grown its revenues by a compounded annual growth rate of 8% from 2018 to 2021, or from $7 billion to $8.9 billion. At the same time, its net income doubled from $1.5 billion in 2018 to $2.9 billion in 2021. Readers are advised to keep in mind that this growth came during the coronavirus pandemic, which caused industry-wide disruptions. Mr. Buffett's holding company owned a $1 billion stake in Ally Financial Incorporated. During this year's second quarter, saw a 235% quarterly increase and came through 30 million shares. The firm's PE ratio of 4.12 is well below the industry average of 14.79. Insider Monkey took a look at 895 hedge funds for their June quarter of 2022 holdings to discover that 42 had invested in the company. Ally Financial Incorporated also pays a 30-cent dividend for a 4.10% yield. Number 8. Occidental Petroleum Corporation, or OXY. Warren Buffett increased his hold in Occidental Petroleum Corporation by 17% in the second quarter of 2022. His hedge fund now owns 159 million shares of the energy company. These shares have a total worth of $9.3 billion. The fund now owns 21% of the energy company. In light of this, Truist said in a report that Buffett now has a clear path toward acquiring Occidental Petroleum Corporation. Number 7. Activision Blizzard Incorporated. Warren Buffett's hedge fund upped its stake in Activision Blizzard Incorporated by 7% in the second quarter. The fund ended the period with 68.4 million shares of the company, worth $5.33 billion. Investors are holding their breath as regulators in Europe and US continue to scrutinize Microsoft's $68.7 billion takeover of Activision Blizzard Incorporated. Reports suggest that the FTC is expected to reach a decision in this regard in November, and authorities in the UK have set March as a deadline for a decision. Nevertheless, in October, Wells Fargo added Activision Blizzard Incorporated to its high-momentum portfolio. The firm said that long-term momentum typically outperforms in stressful times by keeping investors away from adverse stock situations. Number 6. Celanese. Warren Buffett has been on a buying spree this year amid the market meltdown. During the first quarter of 2022, Buffett's Berkshire Hathaway added 60 new stocks to its portfolio. One of these new stocks is Celanese, a global chemicals producer. Celanese has a huge portfolio of polymers and plastics, emulsions, cellulose, and other chemical products. These base products show up all over the place in paints and construction materials, clothes, medical devices, pharmaceuticals, electronics components, and even food. Besides trading on the cheap, Celanese is also a dividend stock. It pays an annualized yield of roughly 2.4% a year. The company has been aggressively raising this payout over the last decade, with annual dividends paid up nearly 1,000% since 2012. Number 5. US Bancorp. US Bancorp is another strong dividend-paying stock in Warren Buffett's portfolio. The company has been increasing its dividend consistently for the last 10 years. It has a dividend yield of over 4%. US Bancorp recently posted strong third-quarter results driven by growth in interest income, loan, and deposit growth. Like other major banks, US Bancorp numbers were buoyed by rising interest rates. Adjusted EPS in the third quarter totaled $1.18, compared to the Wall Street estimate of $1.16. Revenue in the quarter came in at $6.33 billion, surpassing estimates of $6.20 billion. A total of 43 hedge funds tracked by Insider Monkey had stakes in the bank at the end of June, compared to 40 funds in the previous quarter. Number 4. Markel. One company garnering a lot of attention recently is Markel Corporation. Many investors have been curious about the stock after Berkshire Hathaway invested in the specialty insurance company. Berkshire Hathaway recently added a position in Markel, buying more than 420,000 shares, totaling $620 million. Warren Buffett is a big fan of the insurance industry, so it shouldn't be too surprising he added a position in a solid company like Markel. Markel is a solid company that looks to emulate Berkshire Hathaway's success. Over the past 20 years, Markel stock has delivered a 608% return for investors, beating the S&P 500's 410% return and even Berkshire Hathaway's 468% return. The shares are up almost 4% so far this year, compared with a 17% decline for the S&P 500. Markel put up a solid performance during the first quarter, increasing its earned premiums by 17% as it looked to stay ahead of inflation. Number 3. McKesson. Berkshire scooped up over 2.9 million shares of McKesson in the first quarter of 2022. In retrospect, that proved to be a smart move. The stock has soared 39% year-to-date. While much of the gains came during Q1, McKesson's momentum has continued in recent months. The stock provided a relatively low-risk way for Buffett to invest in the biopharmaceutical industry. Berkshire has sold off most of its positions in drug makers. However, McKesson's pharmaceutical distribution business generates steady and growing revenue without the potential threat of clinical failures. McKesson CEO Brian Tyler noted in the company's recent quarterly conference call, "Our business model has remained resilient to the pressures from cost inflation and supply chain disruption. Buffett loves resilient businesses. McKesson appears to be a great fit for Berkshire's portfolio." Number 2. Chevron. Chevron is one of the largest diversified multinational energy companies on Earth and is the second biggest energy company in the US market after ExxonMobil. The company is active in every stage of producing, refining, and retailing petroleum products. Buffett first invested in US oil major Chevron in the fourth quarter of 2020. Since that time, the oil industry has been on a roller coaster ride. Buffett reduced his Chevron holdings in the first and second quarters of 2021. But a global energy crisis and Russia's invasion of Ukraine sent crude oil prices soaring to 13-year highs in 2022. In response, Buffett more than tripled his stake in Chevron in the first quarter and added another 2.2 million shares in the second quarter, bringing his total stake up to 161.4 million shares worth about $23.3 billion. Today, Chevron makes up approximately 7.3% of Berkshire Hathaway's holdings. Number 1. Apple. With a market capitalization of $2.5 trillion, Apple is one of the world's largest companies, and one of Apple's biggest fans happens to be Warren Buffett. If you look at the Berkshire Hathaway's portfolio, it's clear that Warren Buffett sees the value in a company's brand. Berkshire's investment in Apple fits into this brand-driven focus as well. It's difficult to think of a more iconic brand with the tech sector. And if we look at it financially, Apple's brand is estimated to be valued at $947 billion. In Apple's most recently reported quarter, it posted net income of $19 billion. And over the past 10 years, it has increased its profits by almost 140%. In addition, Apple generates massive amounts of free cash flow that it uses to repurchase its shares. Over the past 10 years, the company has reduced its share count by almost 40%. Apple may not always appear cheap, but when the company is of Apple's quality, some premium is justified, even for Warren Buffett. And that's about it for today's video. If you found this video helpful, kindly click the like and subscribe button. Also, you might want to leave a comment below. We love hearing from you. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the next video. If you enjoyed this video, you're going to want to watch one of these two videos right here. Enjoy!